Hello everyone, and welcome back to Farm Simulator 22. We're back here on No Man's Land with Grober Games. So last time we ended up finishing our harvest in November, and we ended up cutting a bunch of our grass down and getting it raked up. So we're gonna do and getting up. We got our blower set up at the silo over there, so we're gonna do some chopping today. But one of the first things we're gonna start out with right now is that we're gonna go get the red set up here to start working our last piece of ground for the fall tillage. And one of the things I decided to do, and I know I kind of was going to say I was going to wait till after next season, I ended up turning on the Precision DLC this session. I was kind of going back and forth for a bit, and I was sitting here thinking, do I really, since I get these 3 fields I got a lime already, do I really want to wait until... do I really want to wait till after this session to do it or not? Or this season, I meant. So I decided we're going to start now. Because I'm kind of curious right now. We're making a good amount of money. I'm curious how unforgiving the environmental score is gonna be towards us. Like I said, I haven't done any research into precision. A lot of what you're seeing is my first-hand experience with it since they added it. So we're gonna see how, I want to see how really unforgiving it can be for us plowing our field here right now. I know we're gonna lose score points on that, but I'm curious that, since I'm going to inject a little more realism to this playthrough, and by realism, I mean, so next spring when we come out to start field cultivating, we're gonna field cultivate what we just plowed here recently, so that way we have a smooth seed bed to work with, versus me just planting into it like I have been the last few times around. Especially since that was the whole reason why I disabled stones, just because when I was doing my experimentation and my off time with this, so basically when you plowed and then field cultivate, you'll always have heavy stones, or the large stones, I shouldn't say heavy stones. Well, abundant more stones nevertheless. And I just didn't like that, because we literally would have to stop and pick every field, which in reality is what we have to do, but I feel like we got enough task ahead of us that's the main reason why I turned off stone picking. And I don't know, I just, like I've said in other episodes, I'm glad Giants tried something new. I just don't feel like it was executed in the proper way in my eyes. But I'm not an expert at making games, so we're gonna finish getting these headlands done. I think one of the goals today, after we get done chopping, if we got time, is that I think we're gonna go, and I haven't decided yet if we're gonna do our own soil sampling. I kind of want to, and then I kind of don't. I kind of want to have it hired done for the first season, and then we could do our own, because we got a lot of sampling that is gonna have to be done. And one of the things that I'm also going to be doing so basically Tyson Dinsey has released his 6010 modded tractor, which is one of my favorite tractors to play with. At least I played with it a lot back in 19. And there's that mod can have a front hitch attacher. So I'm going to still kind of keep using older equipment like we are, but with we're going to add a little bit of the precision stuff into it. Just because that's kind of how the style of farming we're still using older equipment, but still trying to implement precision when we can. And that 6410, we can actually attach that crop sensor on. And there's a mod I found that we can actually apply. Basically, it's I can't think of the word right now. A side dresser, we call it around here. And we can side dress our nitrogen into our corn when it reaches a certain stage. And we're going to end up using, I think we're going to end up using the 6410 on that side dresser. And we're going to end up using that, putting the crop sensor on the front of that, just so that we can kind of make our environmental score somewhat reasonable. Like I said, I'm kind of curious when we start. So I know when I was reading it the first time, it said like if your score gets to a certain point, you actually start losing income on your crops, which is an interesting concept. But I don't know how low is too low is the big thing. So we're going to end up investing a decent amount of money into precision. We're still going to keep our same old sprayer for the next year or two. Probably just for this next coming year, because I don't think we're going to end up buying too much ground this coming year, if any at all. I think the plan is for the next year is, like I said, keep investing into upgrading our equipment some, and investing into more infrastructure, so more buildings. I was still planning to invest into a dairy barn this year and some cattle and everything else that to go with it. So I think we're also going to invest into a new round baler as well. Is in my sights. And we just right now there's a lot of things that we need to invest into when you think about it, because if we get the barn, we'll need to get there's a silo setup that goes up with the JMF modding, which isn't too expensive to go with the barn. But we'll need the little TMR wagon that goes with it, or the TMR mixer, so that we can feed our cattle. We'll need a shed for all our bale storage this coming year, because we'll be drilling oats this coming year. And I'm not sure how much of that I want to drill, because I do not know how much we'll go through. We'll also be needing a manure spreader. We'll let the helper take over now. We also still need to invest into a slurry spreader to get rid of all our digestate that we have, and then we'll have to use that for our own manure. Because I don't plan on just taking the manure we generate from the dairy over to there to make some easy money. I just plan to use it as our own natural fertilizer. Just because I still want to inject a little bit of challenge in this series. We'll get chop in here too. Our pipe folded out while we're heading over. But I want to use that liquid manure as a natural fertilizer. And then we'll also have to buy a actual manure spreader for the solid stuff for when we start having to haul the bedding and stuff out from the barn as well. And then there's another mod I found for bale storage, which I want to use just because it'll make life a little bit easier for us. But that's kind of the plan right now. Like I said, part of me wants to do our own soil sampling, but we got like, I think when I went to the map and kind of looked at it earlier, I think we were at like 15 hectare acres. Yeah, I think it was around 15 with everything. So we'll have quite a bit of ground just to try to do like first year soil sampling, which we don't need to get it all done in one day too, and I could always do it in between episodes. Speaking of which, the other thing too is I want to see how much the sampler is. The probe to sample. 17 grand. So we got 40 grand right there between the crop sensor for nitrogen uptake and just the Scout soil sampler. So that would take most of the money we have right now. Another thing too is I do not know for like, so I'm still going back and forth yet. So the last couple weeks I've been helping my folks out, so I'm starting to get behind on recording, and I want to stay at the consistency I'm at right now for recording. Yeah, I forgot. These shopper boxes are a little finicky sometimes. Gonna back straight up here. Turn that off. And we'll grab the Oliver here in a second. We'll grab that other wagon. So, back to what I was saying. I've been helping my folks the last couple of weeks, so I'm kind of getting to the point where I'm starting to get behind on some of my recordings. And I know for this series we've been just kind of doing like little blips of what we've done each month. And I don't know if I'll be doing that the next episode. Just because that usually takes quite a bit of time to do all those like small tasks we do each month. I shouldn't say small, but we spend a couple hours each of those months doing all the tasks that need to be done. And I'm going back and forth whether I want to do that or kind of do what we done with our Elm Creek playthrough, where we just kind of skipped ahead to the point where it's early spring and we start working on all the other tasks that we need to have done. Wow, it's kind of loud in here. There we go. But those are the few. That's just something else I'm thinking of. I might lean towards it. But like I said, if I don't and we end up skipping ahead and you get caught off guard if you're watching the play this portion of it, don't be shocked or think you missed something. I might have just skipped ahead just because it's a little more convenient at the time so that way I can stay ahead on everything. But if we do soil sampling, we could do some of that during the winter months. So maybe we'll just do that instead. Maybe we'll do some this month. I haven't decided yet. Just with adding this precision DLC is going to add a lot more. And we'll have all these fields to relime too. I just realized we'll have to relime everything. So we'll have our work cut out for us this coming year. So getting more ground is kind of a good thing to kind of put that out of the question type thing for now. But like I said, we'll kind of see, because most of the money I get from here, I would like to invest into kind of finishing this facility up, so to speak. Like, I got all this gravel and such set up. I have other stuff I want to put up over here to kind of complete this little setup. So we are going to have that turned on here. There we go. Yep, we're putting grass silage, so let's back to chopping here. Well, that's unloaded, but that's kind of what we have planned for this series right now. I know, like I said, I kind of jumped the gun for when I want to do precision, but I want to see how unforgiving it is, especially with our tillage methods. Another interesting thing I kind of want to see is, so we have to plow our ground for corn. I wonder if the score is going to reflect that when we go across it with the cultivator. Granted, I don't think we take a hit with the cultivator. I think it just kind of stays neutral, if I remember right from the reading. Or if it's still just going to reflect the tillage from plowing yet. I'll have to double check that later. Or like the other example is if we plowed it and then we take our minimum till across it, is it going to just sit there and think, oh, the minimum till has been done, so you're going to get points for that, even though we just plowed it in the fall. So this is going to be a very interesting experience, and I'm kind of excited about it right now. I'm not excited if we get to the point where we start losing money, but I think with the other methods, it'll keep us from getting to that point, so to speak. But we're gonna finally jump in the time lapse here. I think I rambled on enough for what the plan is for the next year and possibly the next episode. Like I said, I'm still bouncing around back and forth in my head what I really want to do about that. So we'll be in the moment when that happens. But anyways, we'll finally jump into the time lapse here, guys, and we'll see you guys in a bit. Alright, everyone, I think we're going to start wrapping up the episode today. It's a little bit of a shorter one, shorter recording-wise today, but I think I took enough time, your guys' time with all my rambling and trying to explain what I have in mind for the coming year. So, I think, let's see here. Kind of both same tractor, just different brands. Oh, that's kind of funny, actually. Let's see. I wanted to see 50-50. Okay. So everything's set there. I just want to see 43 for that. So we're at about 9 right there. That's 18 grand there. So 18,000 for us just to have all this done. First spent almost 18 for the sampler. You know what? We're just gonna get these done for us for now. And see how, and then we'll for next year we'll invest into the actual soil sampler, just because there's so much ground there for us to cover that and especially with me being crunched on recording time to begin with, I don't want to really waste too much time doing all that sampling ourselves, because 52, 27. Yeah, it would have been a little over 100 samples. Kind of interesting. Our score is set at 55. Why is that? Interesting. Okay. Well, let's get the 40-20 put away. We're gonna put that away over here because we're gonna need it later. This winter, I'm guessing, to sell our corn. We'll have to take care of the combine next year, along with the other little projects we have. I think we might end up selling our disc back here as well. Kind of a good impulse buy, but we only used it for one season, and since we got the cultivator, I don't think we'll be really using that much more, so we might sell that off. And I think I'm 90% sure I'm gonna sell off that bale wrapper, just because I can't get the mod to work. I looked to see if they updated it yet, and they haven't. And maybe it's one of the other mods causing issues as well. Maybe not necessarily the person who made the mod, but maybe it's another mod that I went and grabbed that's causing issues where I can't hook up to it anymore. But I think that, like I said, we're gonna wrap this episode up today. Next time we see ya, we'll see what kind of episode it'll be. I think in reality, we'll only have a couple of months. Actually, I'm curious. What is our pH level on across everything? Doesn't look too terrible. Those ones will need some work, obviously. But I think the next couple months, you know what? I decided I'm just gonna suck it up and have to do quite a bit more recording. We're gonna keep the same setup for the next like couple series of months going. The only thing I want to look at here quick though before I do that is calendar months. There we go. I want to see. Whoop, wrong thing. That's another thing too. I'm kind of planning is putting up a third bin this year, so that way we can kind of do a little more variety of crops as well. So it looks like January, February. So I think We might be just jumping into it into March, trying to get our oats sown right away. And then we might do some, we'll have to start spring tillage as well for the corn, so I think that's where we'll be coming back to. We'll do the few blips of each of the key moments going on in the next couple months. And we'll go from there. But if you guys enjoyed the episode today, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps out the channel. If you're enjoying the content, please subscribe so you can stay up to date to the latest series. Above all else, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day. And most of all, thanks for watching.